The game started in a way that honestly left a lot of Patriots fans scratching their heads because that first half did not look like the kind of football this team had been playing all season. There was hesitation, some missed opportunities, and a Miami team that felt way too comfortable early on. But everything changed after halftime, and when the Patriots came back onto the field, it felt like a completely different mindset took over. From that moment on, it was total control. Miami did not score a single point in the second half, and New England flipped the switch in a big way, pouring on points, dominating time of possession, and imposing their will on both sides of the ball. By the time the clock hit 0, the scoreboard told the full story with a 38-10 win that locked in a 14-3 record and secured the number 2 seed in the AFC, something very few people would have predicted at the beginning of the season. What makes this win even more impressive is how balanced it ended up being after such an uneven start. The defense tightened up completely, suffocating Miami's offense and forcing mistakes, while the offense stopped overthinking and simply played winning football. There were no unnecessary risks, no desperate stat chasing, just smart decisions and execution when it mattered most. Hunter Henry once again proved why he has become such a reliable presence, leading the team with 5 catches for 56 yards, consistently finding soft spots in coverage and giving the quarterback an easy and trustworthy option. On the ground, the performance was nothing short of explosive, with Ramondre Stevenson absolutely stealing the show. On just 7 carries, he racked up 131 rushing yards and finished the day with 3 total touchdowns, numbers that do not even feel real when you say them out loud. At the start of the season, if someone had said this Patriots team would finish as the 2nd seed in the AFC, most fans would have laughed it off. A playoff spot felt possible, sure, but a top 2 seed felt like a stretch. Yet here we are, heading into the postseason with momentum, confidence, and a team that looks like it is peaking at exactly the right time. That shift in expectations says a lot about how this roster has grown over the course of the year, especially with so many new pieces learning how to win together. The excitement around this team feels different, not forced or hopeful, but earned through consistent performance and resilience. Drake Maye deserves a lot of credit for the way he handled this game, even if his stat line does not scream dominance at first glance. He finished with 14 completions for 191 yards and 1 touchdown, but that does not tell the full story. He protected the football, made the right reads, and stepped up with his legs when needed, adding 41 rushing yards that kept drives alive. There were no turnovers, no reckless throws, and his quarterback rating reflected that efficiency. He did not need to force anything, and he certainly did not chase numbers. In fact, he did not even play in the 4th quarter because the game was already decided, which says everything about how in control the Patriots were by that point. This performance only added fuel to the ongoing MVP conversation that has been frustrating a lot of fans. Drake Maye has delivered massive moments all season, including throwing 5 touchdowns against the Jets just 1 week earlier in only 3 quarters of play, yet the narrative seems to constantly shift against him. Meanwhile, other quarterbacks put up big numbers in situations that clearly favor stat padding, and suddenly the conversation swings their way. What makes it even more confusing is the lack of consistency in how performances are evaluated. A dominant win against a division rival with clean football and total team control should matter, especially when it directly leads to a top seed in the conference. What stands out most about Drake Maye is not just the numbers, but the way he plays within the structure of the team. He does not force throws just to boost his stats, and he does not take unnecessary risks when the run game is clearly working. That is the Patriots' way, and it showed clearly in this game. When Stevenson and the ground attack were rolling, the offense leaned into it without hesitation. Winning mattered more than headlines, and that mindset has carried this team to where it is now. Speaking of Stevenson, his impact since returning from injury has been impossible to ignore. After missing 3 games, he has looked refreshed, confident, and decisive, running with power and vision that keeps defenses on their heels. He is no longer playing cautiously, worrying about protecting the football or easing his way into contact. Instead, he is hitting holes aggressively, breaking tackles, and finishing runs with authority. When you combine his physical style with the speed and versatility of the other backs, the Patriots suddenly have a backfield that can control games, especially in cold weather playoff conditions. Hunter Henry also deserves recognition for the season he has put together. This has quietly been one of the best years of his career, not just in production, but in importance. He has become a safety valve for the offense, consistently getting open and making tough catches in traffic. His chemistry with Maye is obvious, and in critical moments, he is often the first read. As the playoffs approach, his role becomes even more important, especially against defenses that like to pressure and force quick decisions. As dominant as the second half was offensively, the defensive turnaround deserves just as much attention. The first half was rough, with missed assignments and too much space given up underneath. But after the break, adjustments were made, and the defense came out with intensity. The pass rush started to get home, the coverage tightened, and Miami simply had no answers. That ability to adapt mid-game is one of the most encouraging signs for a team heading into the postseason, where every opponent will test weaknesses relentlessly. This one was not just about beating the Dolphins. It was about sending a message that the Patriots are not backing into the playoffs. They are entering with confidence, physicality, and a clear identity. They can win through the air when needed, dominate on the ground when conditions call for it, and rely on their defense to close games. With the postseason finally here after several long years, the energy around this team feels justified, and the belief in what they can accomplish is growing with every snap. As impressive as the offensive explosion was after halftime, the defensive response might have been the most telling part of this entire game. That first half was rough to watch, with Miami moving the ball far too easily and the Patriots looking hesitant and out of sync. It felt like every short pass was there for the taking, and the spacing and coverage left too much room underneath. But one moment shifted the entire tone, and from there, the defense completely took over. Confidence flipped, energy spiked, and suddenly Miami looked lost. The second half was a shutout, and it was not because of luck, but because the Patriots started winning at the line of scrimmage and playing faster, more aggressive football. Christian Barmore stood out in a big way, playing with a visible edge and setting the tone up front. He was constantly disrupting plays, getting penetration against the run, and forcing the quarterback off his spot. His presence made life easier for everyone else on that defensive line. And when he plays at that level, this unit becomes a serious problem. The physicality was there, the effort was there, and most importantly, the execution followed. When the defensive front starts winning consistently, it allows the rest of the defense to simplify their responsibilities and play downhill. The pass rush as a whole looked more alive as the game went on, and that pressure directly affected Miami's confidence. Quarterbacks hate feeling rushed, especially when it comes from different angles, and that was exactly what the Patriots delivered. Even when sacks were not recorded, hits and hurries piled up, forcing quicker throws and limiting any chance of a comeback. That kind of sustained pressure is what travels into the playoffs, regardless of opponent or environment. The secondary, while still a topic of debate, held up better once the pass rush kicked in. Early on, the soft coverage allowed easy completions, which can be frustrating to watch because it feels preventable. Receivers were catching the ball underneath and picking up free yards, something that better teams will absolutely try to exploit. However, once the defense tightened up and played with more confidence, those same throws stopped turning into extended drives. Physical tackles, better angles, and improved communication made a noticeable difference as the game wore on. One area that quietly delivered a massive boost was special teams, specifically the kicking game. Confidence at kicker changes everything, especially in the postseason where every point matters. Seeing a long field goal sail through with room to spare is the kind of moment that resonates with the entire sideline. It changes how coaches call games and how offenses approach late drives. Knowing that points are within reach from long distance gives this team flexibility and removes pressure in tight situations. As the regular season wraps up, the playoff picture is clear, and the Patriots now know exactly what lies ahead. A matchup against the Los Angeles Chargers is locked in, and there is no shortage of motivation on either side. The Chargers had opportunities to change their path and chose not to, and whether that was strategy or confidence, it has now created a narrative that the Patriots will undoubtedly embrace. Playing in Foxboro, in cold conditions, against a team that relies heavily on timing and rhythm, plays directly into New England's strengths. This is where the physical run game becomes even more important. Cold weather football favors teams that can control the clock, wear down defenses, and impose their will in the trenches. With the combination of power and speed in the backfield, the Patriots are built for exactly that kind of environment. When the ground game is rolling, everything else opens up, from play action to manageable third downs. It also keeps the defense fresh, which becomes crucial in a playoff setting. Drake does not need to play hero football for this team to win, and that might be his greatest strength. He understands situational football, knows when to push and when to pull back, and trusts his teammates to do their jobs. That composure is rare, especially for a quarterback still early in his career, and it shows up most clearly in big moments. The lack of turnovers, the calm decision-making, and the ability to extend plays with his legs make him a difficult matchup, even against disciplined defenses. The supporting cast around him continues to step up at the right time. Receivers may not always dominate headlines, but they make key plays when needed, move the chains, and block downfield to spring bigger gains. Tight ends remain a focal point, especially in the red zone, where trust and timing matter more than raw speed. Every piece of this offense feels connected, and that chemistry is not something that can be built overnight. Defensively, the challenge will be maintaining aggression without giving up easy yards. Against a quarterback who thrives on quick throws and rhythm routes, discipline becomes everything. Pressuring without losing containment, playing tighter coverage at the line, and trusting individual matchups will be key. The talent is there, but execution will determine how far this team can go. The most important takeaway from this win is not just the score or the seeding, but the belief it reinforces. This Patriots team knows who they are now. They know how they want to win games, and they know what it takes to respond when things do not start perfectly. That resilience, combined with momentum and home field advantage, creates a dangerous combination as the playoffs begin. The wait has been long, the expectations have shifted dramatically, and now the opportunity is right in front of them as postseason football returns to New England. That sense of belief inside the locker room feels stronger than it has in years, and it shows in how this team responds to adversity. There is no panic when things go sideways early, no visible frustration when a drive stalls or a mistake happens. Instead, there's a calm adjustment process, a trust that if they keep playing their brand of football, the results will come. That mindset is often the difference in January games, where momentum swings quickly and emotional control becomes just as important as physical execution. What also stands out is how comfortable this roster looks playing complementary football. When the offense is rolling, the defense feeds off that energy and plays faster. When the offense needs a spark, the defense creates it with a stop or a big hit. Special teams add another layer of stability, making sure hidden yardage does not become a problem. Everything feels connected, like each unit understands its role within the bigger picture instead of trying to carry the team on its own. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers around the league suggest that tension may be quietly building behind the closed doors of New England, and at the center of the storm is quarterback Drake Maye. According to sources close to the situation, a stunning ultimatum is being floated in private conversations. If a certain unnamed figure arrives in Foxboro, Maye could be ready to walk away from the Patriots project altogether. No official statement has been made, but the rumor alone has been enough to ignite speculation across the NFL landscape. Those familiar with the Patriots' internal dynamics describe a delicate moment for the franchise, one in which identity, leadership, and long-term vision are all being debated. Maye, viewed by many as a cornerstone for the future, is said to be carefully watching every move made by the front office. The possible arrival of him a figure whose identity remains the subject of intense guesswork, is reportedly seen by Maye's camp as a direct threat to his role, influence, or development within the organization. What makes the rumor particularly explosive is the suggestion that Maye's stance is not emotional, but strategic. Insiders claim the quarterback believes that certain additions could alter the offensive direction, limit his autonomy, or signal a lack of trust from the franchise. In that context, the alleged ultimatum would be less about ego and more about control over his own career trajectory. Inside the locker room, the speculation has created an uneasy silence. Veterans are said to be monitoring the situation closely, aware that a potential power struggle at quarterback could reshape the team's future overnight. For a franchise known for discipline and stability, even the hint of internal friction feels unusual. For now, everything remains in the realm of rumor. The Patriots have offered no clarification, and Maye has kept a low public profile. Still, in a league where perception often becomes reality, the mere possibility of such a dramatic standoff is enough to keep fans, executives, and rivals on alert. Whether this ultimatum truly exists or is simply a negotiating whisper, one thing is clear. The situation in New England may be far more fragile than it appears on the surface. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.